Good morning. And today is July 6th, 2023. And I'm going to ask you questions, but I'm looking back at the last lesson,
Mm-hmm.
looking at it in front of me. And that we looked at the sternocleidomastoid, the ballerina muscles here on
Mm-hmm.
the side of the neck, and the trapezius
Mm-hmm.
muscles
Mm-hmm.
along the back to use inside bending, like the letter C. Beautiful. And then asking a slight rocking forward and back as we're bending side to side. So we can go forward and back with the pelvis a little bit as we're going forward and back. And you'll find there's a rhythm. So you'll be back when you're all the way to the side, and then you start to go forward as you go up and then back.
I've been doing that quite a bit for the last couple of weeks, and concentrating on the trapezius, which is has been very helpful in clarifying the spine, and also the psoas. So, and because my PT gave me a an exercise to stand up and sit down from a chair, like, reps, 20 reps or whatever. And I wanted to make sure I was doing it well. So I thought of both the trapezius and the psoas muscles to help me keep my back very flexible, and also keep the movement very simple, so that I was actually moving. I'm bending or hinging my pelvis rather than doing anything funny with my back. I think it's correct.
You want to show
I
me?
can do it for you. Yes, I was
Show
just gonna
me. I mean, I already saw how you just did the side to side while you're going forward and back. It's like as if you've been doing it always.
Well, I've been doing it for 2 weeks, so maybe that's always.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And then tilt your screen down a little bit more so I can see you.
how's that?
Thumbs up.
I'll move it back a little.
Oh, even better. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, oh. Okay, do it again. Nice. Go ahead. Okay, so move your chair back when you do it. Do it again, but take your chair back so I can see you a little bit more and straight on.
Oh,
And take your chair further back if you can. Okay, good. Uh-huh. Okay, so you know me. I'm just being picky.
no, be picky. I want you to be.
Yeah, as a musician, you get it. Okay, I realize it. Sorry. I could totally get away with it in this crowd. Okay. So you were still working it over the right side more
Oh,
as your head is bent more to the right. Now that's not your hip, it's just where your head is bent. But if your head is bent, it's going to take your weight over that right side. So let's see it again. Better. Now, picky me.
mm-hmm.
When you went to get up, you gave a little oomph. So practice it so that at every space you are, at every moment, you can actually stop the movement and stay. Check it out. every moment, every moment. Where's your exhalation? Every space. Now rest, let yourself stay there. And now just start the process, but don't go anywhere. Start the process as if you're going to go to get up. And come back.
Do it again.
Yes, do this slowly. I can see your fingers are like the lump, the lump, the lump.
Remind me to ask you something after that.
I will.
Yes. Yeah.
And now go a little further with comfort and ease. Okay, and start the process of coming up. And there would be the place of the oof that did the jumpy up.
So what do I do about that?
Okay, now rock it side to side a little bit.
I think the chair is low, by the way.
Okay, the chair is low. Okay, now take it over one leg as if you were to come up and bring your head up. Yeah, and come back. So it's not bring your head up here, but as you go forward, bring your head so that you're arching your spine, that your whole spine go forward. So it's like this. Okay, so if I'm coming forward, sorry about my kitchen. Okay, so as I'm coming forward, there,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
there. Woo, that's a lot of work. Oh, where do I line up my foot under my knee? Oh, that's a lot of work, right? So here and then come back. You're waking up every part of the system to get up. Holy cow. You'll realize how much you gave a woof to get up.
Yeah.
That's it, over the left. And so you see here, look, when I bring my head up, I'm bringing my tail out there. It's this.
Yeah. Oh, I see. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
There,
that makes sense.
There, do you see? Here.
Yes.
My butt can swing.
yes.
My butt can swing like this. And you want to know that your butt can swing freely. It's a free swinging butt instead of a butt that's stuck to a spine that doesn't move independent. It moves wee, 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 like a dog wagging its tail.
Right.
Beautiful. That's an ageless butt. That's an ageless spine.
Yeah.
And when that frees up and that moves, what a better life it gives us. You know, the other day was at my house and I had a little hand vac, and I was upstairs in my bathroom and I'm like, oh, look at the litter box. The litter kind of spread everywhere. So I get like into this position. I'm holding like this and I'm holding the vacuum. And I go, well, I might as well turn around and get the vacuum here. Oh, look, there's some hair over here. Oh, look. And I'm just, you know, I'm walking like this. So I'm not using my back to hold me, but I'm leaning into it, right? Okay. But have no doubt, when I finished, I was pretty proud of myself that I didn't hurt my back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
I can imagine.
Okay. But I had to pack up all my animals. And of course, I'm going to clean the house before I leave the house because I want to come home to a clean house. Even though you don't think I'm very clean because I'm a mess, I'm still in the middle of everything.
Oh.
But that night, last night, my low back in bed, was like when I went to lay down, ah, wow, is it achy?
Oh,
Oh,
really?
it's achy, but it's not hurt
Ah, because you were
because
using it.
I was using so much of me, right? And so
Right.
I did a little bit of bending. See, look here.
Yeah.
This and only a little. I'm careful and I'm watchful. There. Do you see? Look what I'm different, different there. And do you see how my leg can move in and out? Right? As I'm going. So my leg can go here and like that. And I'm very careful to just go a little and then come back and go, not bad. The muscles are still sore from being overused, but they're not hurt.
Mm, mm.
And I got the work done. Now, next time, do it more efficiently. Don't be stubborn. Just vacuum down here the litter. But if I'm going to vacuum the whole bathroom, I'll get a stand-up vacuum,
Right.
or a broom. I'll do it more intelligently. But I didn't injure myself. Do you see what
Right.
I'm saying? It's
No,
just like
totally. Totally.
right. And so the same when we go to get up, when we go to get up from a chair,
Mm,
this was like one of my favorite things I used to watch Moshe do and teach is that it's don't just mindlessly get up
mm,
because sure you can do that when you're 20 and 30 and 40, but you get to a certain age where all of a sudden it's not so easy and there's a
mm,
ugh,
mm.
ugh, right? There's all that. So
Absolutely.
and then there's the little parts all before that that have been in the making. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
them. So there's the let's get it up over one side, there, back, that side. So just that we can get this movement without over volunteering the low back. It's the whole spine. So see, wait a minute. Oh, wait, nope. I'm still overdoing. I'm still overdoing. Can I move it? Can I move it? Okay, now, oh, I let it hang instead of sticking it all the way in the air. But I'm still, so I'm not overdoing it, overdoing it, overdoing it, overdoing it, coming back. And listen, at one's age, it's never going to be perfect.
Mm.
But you know what, Elise? It's going to be good.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
be better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's going to allow us the freedom and capability
Yes.
of
Yes. Yes.
moving
Yes. Yes.
and getting through fakakta dreck when stuff happens, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know you wanted to ask something. This can go into a whole lesson in itself
Hmm.
in the movement, and know that we just took like 15 minutes,
Hmm.
10 minutes, whatever, in doing that. Take this
Hmm.
in exploring with yourself because
Okay.
you took last week's lesson. You didn't go back and watch the video, but
No.
you did it again and again and again. You
Yeah.
got it, right?
Yeah.
So the same, whether
You
you
did.
see the video, take it internal to yourself. And remember that the spine lengthens from the top of the head
Oh,
to the
yes.
tailbone, and that the butt can swing. When I say the butt, I mean the whole pelvis can
Yeah.
swing.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden you realize you don't have to hyperextend the low back. You can just let it down just a little, but it's still bringing you up. And then the butt
Yes.
can swing a little bit down.
And I can feel it's a completely different feeling
What
if
do
I
you
do.
notice?
I
Tell me.
noticed that I noticed that I can get up without this woomph.
The woof.
Yeah. And now getting down,
Slow,
the
wiggle,
same, right? It's
wiggle.
the same.
wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. That's it. Wiggle till you eventually make your way down there. So there was still a little woof
Yeah.
that came down. That's okay.
Okay.
Don't ask too much the first time.
Okay. No,
That
because you can
above all,
overdo. You'll overdo.
oh yeah,
I
oh
will
yeah.
overdo.
It's
Yeah.
it's a learning and exploration that you are the boss.
Right. Now, I was gonna. One thing I wanted to tell you is
Yeah.
I notice in myself, because I'm much more aware of what I do. Very hard for me to be still. Very hard for me to be still. I was sitting at the symphony the other day.
Is that why your finger was doing this
Yeah.
little thing
Yes,
too?
and you noticed it, and I'm, it's one of the. I'm very very intense and focused. However, my body is very distracted. My body is always moving.
What medications are you on?
Oh, well, of course, I'm on the blood thinners at the moment, but I don't think it's that. Um, I take a what's it called? Cymbalta for
Hmm.
for uh, for anxiety.
I
So
think
that should be the opposite.
uh-uh,
No,
uh-uh.
Cymbalta does that.
I think it does. I
No
think
kidding.
it causes um hold on. I think one of the side effects, hold on, let me just see. That hold on. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
Leg jerks, muscle twitching.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Any of those, I don't know, is Cymbalta a serotonin? Um, hold on.
Inhibitor? I think.
No, no, uptake.
Oh,
Um, hold on. Ugh, hold on. Yeah, it's uptake inhibitor. Hold on, let me just look. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a serotonin uptake inhibitor, and that's what's. I think I'm pretty sure that's what that is. It's likely that's a side effect from the Cymbalta.
I see. Okay. Um, hmm.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's interfering with the way that the serotonin goes up. And so then the body's needing it, it's not getting it, it's getting too much of it, because of the way it's taking it up. And so it isn't enough for the muscles, and the muscles are getting left with the little twitchies.
Wow. Okay.
So likely, but of course, I'm not a doctor, but I do know that you can tell, like and I'm not making a comparison, so forgive me, but when I see a homeless person doing these little extra things like this, that's not a mental illness. That's a drug that they're taking off the street that
Oh,
happens to have a side effect of dystonia or whatever it is. And so and these are all illicit drugs, or these are drugs that are stolen, and they crush them up and they remake them. And so all these extra movements and whoop whoop whoop, all these things that they do as their side effect of getting high and whatever, it's doing that. So medications, they do stuff, right? they
yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
they do what they're supposed to do, and then they do other things. And then there's the whole world of, now there's the pharmaceutical industry is like singing a song about repurposing their drugs. So, and in the human and veterinary field. So, for instance, Hani, my dog, has mast cell cancer. Okay, so the only drug for mast cell cancer is it causes histamine release, so they give them Benadryl. But they don't just give them Benadryl; they give them Pepsid,
Oh,
because Pepsid is for the stomach. Well,
yeah.
why would you give Pepsid for the stomach for the itching? Because it happens to be they found that Pepsid helps make the Benadryl, when they go together, even better for the dog to stop the itching.
I
So
see.
nothing to do with the what it's
Stomach. Mm.
right. So you see what I'm saying? They're like, wow, it just happens to be the side effect, blah, blah, blah. So there's and when they're using these side effects, they're realizing, oh my God, there's a benefit. When they gave this heart medication many, many years ago to men, they realized they grew hair.
Oh my
And
God.
so let's say they made $10 million selling it for heart medication. They made billions of dollars for Rogaine to be put on the scalp to grow hair. Billions. So it didn't even get used for heart medication anymore. It then became repurposed. So you see,
I never knew it was a heart medication.
pretty
That's so
sure that was a
funny.
heart medication.
Amazing. Amazing.
I know. So that when you're showing me, when I saw the little extra, I go, oh, that's not you. That's a drug doing that.
Oh,
And that's a I kept going, is that dopamine? That looks like dopaminergic. I'm like, okay, well, it's interfering with the serotonin because it's getting it up here to get you to feel better.
hmm. Yeah, and I keep taking it because it's supposed to be good for arthritis as well.
See, that's an unusual side effect.
I know. I know. Oh well. I'll do some inquiries with my doctor.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm not saying anything is bad. I'm only saying it's Cymbalta makes all kind. They have it on the TV.
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah.
cause muscle twitches, unintended extra movements. And I'm like,
Right,
oh,
right.
that's this thing. And the
Yeah,
twitchy in the legs and the little thing in
right,
like that.
right, right. Well, I have this problem with neuropathy, and I wonder if maybe that's exacerbating it.
Okay, so with myself, I have neuropathy.
Yes,
With
you
my
told me.
husband,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay, the methyl B12.
I have it. I have it. I'm
You
taking it.
got it. You
Yes,
got
I
it.
did. I did.
And how much are you
I'm
taking?
taking the same as you, 2,000 a day.
Oh, okay. There are time, get your levels tested and see, maybe you need 5,000 units.
Oh, really? Okay.
There's 2,000 and there's 5,000.
Okay. Okay. How do
And
I
all you
get
need
my
is
levels tested? A lab?
oh, yeah, simple blood test.
Okay.
And they'll look at your B12 levels in your body, and they'll see the measurements,
Mm-hmm.
and you can look at it with your doctor, or
Mm-hmm.
you can share it with me,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sure.
and we'll go, oh, as just two ladies looking at it. Again, I'm
Yeah.
not a doctor, but you can see on the lab, like I
Yeah.
look at vitamin D. So they go, oh, it anywhere between 30 and 100. Go, okay, well, I personally like mine close to 80.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so 30 is still, in functional medicine, considered excruciatingly low.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep a lot of people at 50. And I'm like, still, why not 70?
Mm.
It's not toxic at 70. It's not toxic
Mm-hmm.
at 80. If it's
Mm-hmm.
if it's good between 30 and 100, why not closer to 100? If
Mm-hmm.
you have good organs, because
Mm-hmm.
it's not harming them. They think maybe at too high, over 100 or 100, might be strenuous, but they don't know really.
This is vitamin D you're talking about.
Right. So
Yeah.
the same with B12.
Uh-huh.
If you I always liken the two together. The B12, as long as you're taking methylcobalamin,
I am. I am. Yeah.
hence I'll have to do my whole talk with you about cyano, right? But we already did that.
About what?
Cyanocobalamin. Remember, that's on the cyanide molecule.
Oh, I see. Right.
So the cheapest form of B12 comes as cyanocobalamin
Oh, I see.
for 25 cents more a bottle. It's methylcobalamin. That means it's already methylated, and
I
so
see.
the body can take it in better,
I got it.
unless that person has a genetic thing where then they can't do well with the methyl and they get headaches. Then the doctor will say, or the nutritionist, not doctor, the nutritionist will say, okay, take adenosyl cobalamin and then pulse it. Take 2 weeks on, a couple days off. 2 weeks on, a couple days off. And that's no different than when we do a movement, and a movement, we do it, do it,
And
do
then
it,
we rest.
and then we rest.
Mm.
Because during the rest, integration happens. And we do that with food, right? We don't eat all night when we are sleeping.
No, that's true.
Well, some people do. They eat in the middle of their sleep. They get up and go downstairs and wake up. Hence the video surveillance or a lock they
Right,
put on their.
exactly. Or the lock on the fridge.
Right. I mean, I knew someone that left the house and um went to the liquor store down the street and ate and bought a big bag of spicy Cheetos and woke up in the morning with red all over her
Oh my
face
gosh.
and her hands, and she thought she had murdered her husband.
Ah! Oh
Because
my
she
God.
she had left the house and got a bag of spicy Cheetos, the really
Unbelievable.
red stuff, fiery red. She's like, I ate them. She was off at work.
That is so, it's a funny story, but it must have been horrific.
Well, but that was because she was on some psychotropic drug that the side effect was wandering in the sleep. It was not psychotropic. It was a sleep aid. It was a sleep
Oh
medication.
my gosh. Oh my gosh.
And one
Scary.
of the side effects of that sleep medication
Mhm.
was it causes, I forgot what it's called, sleepwalking.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
So it's a lot, so you do what you need to do and know that you're okay, you're good. It maybe, I don't know, talk to your doctor and say, I'm getting these little things.
Mm.
Is there something we can do?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now, while we're talking, you're sitting on your right butt cheek. You were all the way like this
Was I? Oh, I think I was going back and forth.
and then stopped and stayed.
Yeah, probably.
So you were I was watching this, you were going back and
Yeah.
forth. And then when you listened intently,
I stopped here.
uh-huh.
Right.
And then I waited and I'm like, no, she didn't go back. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Found
Now,
out.
see, but here's the thing, Elise. We're all not with a straight spine,
Right. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we're all going to have a place that we park it more. But the more awareness we have of the movement, we can remind ourselves to give a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I promise that it is the part of aging better. I want to say agelessness,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Stuff's going to happen. A fall happens, a replacement happens, a side effect from a bunch of drugs can happen. All these things. Okay, it's not about the resilience, it's about the ability to remember how we can still, in these small ways, move ourselves meaningfully with awareness in these different cardinal directions, or maybe it's just in two directions, and then noticing what happens with the eyes. And notice how
Time.
that connects with the tongue and the breath, right? You knew it. As soon as I said the eyes, you got aware of the tongue and then becomes the breath.
I've had trouble with my tongue for a long time, probably a very long time. But I was particularly aware of it after I fell and damaged my temporomandibular joint, and been working with it because of the piano, playing the piano and not using my tongue. But very recently, what I noticed is when I actually lengthened my tongue toward
Forward.
forward,
Mm-hmm.
my toes relaxed, and um, I had I had more. I was more relaxed in my shoulders. So I think that that is also a very good thing for me to be. Yeah, if I do that, and if I keep my tongue out, I get all kinds of echoes in my nervous system.
Echoes. I was going to say wakening up. That's interesting. Echoes. I
Yeah.
like it.
So that is a very kind of recent discovery for me. The fact that I probably, um, balled up my tongue muscle um, a lot.
It's interesting. I don't know what this woman's credentials were, but I was listening to her recently, I think on Instagram, and she was saying, what is the root in regard to your facial structure and the tissue on your face that causes the narrowing and the dropping? And she was saying the tongue just hanging in the mouth like this. If the tongue can really fit the roof of the mouth, it'll build all the intrinsic muscles to keep the face up. And it's interesting because all my adult life in Feldenkrais lessons, we want, okay, in the beginning, we were trained, we want the tongue not to be shoved against the roof of the mouth,
Exactly.
right? But then there were these old lessons that are called counting the teeth
Ah,
on the inside. And you really spend like 40 minutes just counting each tooth. Where are you holding your breath? Yeah. And then working with that, and then letting the tongue fill the mouth, fill the roof of the mouth without pushing against the roof of the mouth.
exactly.
So then, I don't know how many years ago, I started thinking about people that have a really high roof of the mouth, and they tend to be maybe more nasally, or they're mouth breathers. So I thought, well, what if we start doing the lessons with the tongue staying in the mouth, and no, not the lips, but so if here's the teeth and the upper jaw, that you're pushing the tongue all along in there, and then you rest the tongue up here, because the whole thing for nursing is the ability, if this is the roof of the mouth and this is the tongue and this is the mouth, the lips, is so the tongue has to be able to reach the roof of the mouth to suck. And if the tongue can't make that suction on the roof of the mouth, the baby will bring in air and get gassy and colicky.
Got it. Mm.
If the child is always sucking on the thumb, which is, I think, why they started thinking maybe it's not so cool with babies that are sucking on the thumb right away. And they try to make these special pacifiers that are to help with the thumb sucking need, but it broadens the roof of the mouth.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because when we have a broader roof of the mouth, our cheekbones are going to be bigger and higher versus narrow.
Mhm.
Our teeth will be, instead of here, will be spread out like that.
Mhm.
Our chewing will be better. Our and we won't walk around going with the mouth gaped open. So there is this whole understanding about the tongue to the roof of the mouth. So there's, the sucking and all of that. And I would imagine in voice lessons,
Oh,
they
this
would
is so funny. I was just going to bring up voice
tell
lessons,
me, tell
but
me.
you go ahead first.
Well, so that is super important. So if you think about people who don't get the tongue there and they have a high roof of the mouth, they also don't enunciate so clearly either.
Mm, mhm,
They
mhm,
really don't, because the tongue for enunciation has to land and push up against different areas of the mouth.
mhm, mhm. Well, yeah. In singing, it's a little bit different.
Tell me.
Well, in singing, what you want is your tongue to be flat against the bottom of your mouth,
Right.
so that.
Right. To
But
open.
what I'm finding with my student is the more I get her to chew her words and think of the back of the throat or the back of the tongue being very wide, the more the prettier the sound is, and the more understandable her words are. So that is so it's related. It's related.
Well, it's
But there's
interesting because both my kids did music, and my
mhm.
younger son was even better at singing. And I remembered he was, I don't remember, 8 when I was really watching him singing, and he naturally broadened out the base of the tongue and really let the sound out. And I went, oh my God, he has it naturally.
Yes, it
Like
naturally.
a little kid who's like they have a natural vibrato, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he and but all the way to the base of the tongue, cradled back, and the way the sound came out, I go, you can't make that sound unless you do that with the mouth.
That's right. That's
I
right.
didn't say that to him. I'm saying that to the universe,
Yes,
going,
yes.
that's so cool. That is so cool. And he does. It's beautiful to hear how he can do. He can go low
Mhm,
and high. It just
mhm,
it broadens the ability, right?
mhm, mhm.
And you have to think that people like that, I was writing a book many, many years ago called Opera Singers Don't Snore.
Ah,
And the whole thing was about snoring and why do people snore? And it probably doesn't matter how fat an opera singer is. They don't snore because their muscles in their mouth and tongue is so damn toned.
mm, mm,
It's just so toned.
mhm.
So it's not about how fat a person is. It's about how untoned they are that causes the the soft tissue falling back. And if they keep singing opera to the day they die, till the day they die, that tissue is going to be beautifully toned. They use it.
Totally, totally, totally. Although the way the way you speak and where you're brought up actually impacts on how you produce sound. Also.
So during COVID, when we all spent so much time alone,
Mhm.
and we started eventually we started eventually to get together with other people, people said, my God, I'm exhausted. And I go, did you notice that your voice is exhausted from talking because you're not used to spending an evening talking with people?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And I
I
said,
still feel exhausted.
yeah, yeah, I get it. I'm happy to never go back.
I know. I know. It's terrifying.
I think most people feel exhausted.
Yeah, I think
Now
so.
they realize that they were just overdoing all the
Right.
time and
Not even
not
thinking
noticing.
about it. Yeah.
Right. But then I started thinking about people who are teachers, professors, and public speakers.
Definitely.
And they're like an opera singer. They are speaking for hours on end.
And actors also.
Yeah, especially actors on stage,
Hmm.
because now they're really having to put their voice volume out there. And if they were only doing it on Zoom for a year and a half,
Exactly.
they
Exactly.
didn't have to put their voice out there very much.
Exactly. Mm.
So, and then what happens is when we go to put the voice out, the head
Oh
goes,
yeah. Yeah.
and
Yep.
hence back to last week's lessons. So
Definitely.
I think it takes an incredible amount of voice coaching and movement work to get our voices back.
Yes. 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 I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true.
So now I just want to say the whole time we're talking, I'm appreciating all that moving that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not really thinking about it. It's just,
I know you're doing just like what Feldenkrais practitioners do. We're talking and we're going like this, which is why what I'm saying is you're constantly working on yourself.
yeah. Well, I feel like I have to. I'm fighting for my quality of life.
I mean, listen, it makes me so happy to hear you say that because other people just go sit down.
I know. I know. I know. And it's very easy to do. It's very easy to do. I wanted to ask one question. Is there a way to do a cardiovascular exercise, you know, Feldenkrais inspired?
Well, so what I could recommend is that you do, is it hatha yoga or kundalini yoga? Hold on.
Hatha yoga is the physical one.
Which is the one for breathing? Is it kundalini? No, I
I
thought,
don't know. That I don't know.
hold on. Shoot. Okay. I remember I used to go with my mom to all of the yoga classes, and she did hatha yoga and kundalini, and I don't remember which one did the breath, but it's like that. I mean, it's like heavy duty. Yeah, it's heavy duty, and you can find it online. The
Okay.
heavy duty breathing, I can assure you, when you do that yoga breath work, the heavy duty, it's like, ha, 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 he, ha, 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 woo. It's all this sound that goes with it.
Wow.
It'll work your cardio
Okay.
and already got my head, right? Okay. And you do your Feldenkrais moves with that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I remember
I'll
one
look that
time
up.
I was maybe 21 years old or something like that, maybe 19. I don't remember. And she took me to the class and I'm like, I go, Mom, I can't stand it. She goes, why? And I go, I'm smelling everyone's breath from their stomach in the room.
Oh
I'm
my
sensitive with my smell.
God.
And she's like, oh, Elinor, don't be so sensitive, And I'm like, yeah, but it's forcing their breath out. I was just being ridiculous. But, now I would
Well, it
not
was
be.
uncomfortable. It was unpleasant.
I also was embarrassed to make those sounds.
Yeah,
Blah, blah,
exactly.
blah, blah. I might have been 19 actually when I think about it. And I also realized my mom never had to do any cardio and she was in such excellent shape from the breath work.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So
Well, I definitely need that. I need that.
yes. Oh my God. And you'll do it in sitting.
Yeah, that's great.
And when you do it in sitting, so look how you're doing all of this. And
Mm.
remember, and I'm watching you, by the way, I'm loving what you're doing. You're going to the right and rocking back,
Yes, because
right?
it's so nice. I like it. and it feels like walking.
Exactly. It's the giraffe, it's that African giraffe movement. In other words, we're remembering our backside,
Exactly.
right? Because we think too much about our front and then the back doesn't get attention to it and we end up with issues,
Yes. Yes.
right? So when we're doing this back-sided work, we're giving thanks to that back all the time. And it
Mm,
doesn't mean that's only what we're doing, but I'm saying we're including it. So then when you're then taking in those that heavy duty yoga breathing work, do find the one that is the ancient one, not
okay.
whatever is a modern day
Okay.
30-year-old sexy looking girl. Forget
Okay.
about that one. Go to the old one where they're almost wearing a turban. So
Right.
because it's that's the authentic old stuff, which
Okay.
is is really real.
Okay. I will. I will. Yeah,
And
I'm
and
excited
then
about
add the movement. And then add the movement. It'll do
I'll
good
do it.
cardio
I'll
for
do it.
you.
I'll do it. I've been doing when I'm lying down mostly, but I can do it sitting too. The pelvic clock. I just want to make sure I'm doing. If I do it very slowly and as small as I can, is that a good way to monitor whether I'm doing it well enough?
I'm going to tell you a secret. You almost can't do it slow enough.
Right. Right.
It's that delicious.
Yes. Yes. The slower it goes, the more it more makes sense.
It's more deeply meaningful. Every moment counts.
Okay.
Every iota of the movement reminds us of our awareness of all of that.
Right.
And in that, we can't get away with sliding past it,
Right.
right? The same thing when we go to get up, there's that little oof, right? Say thank you. Oh, there's a place that now you might be, but it's not you. The other kind of people who are like, well, at least I got up. I'm like, okay, you want to learn, you don't want to learn.
Yeah. Right.
So I pick and choose who my students are. You want to notice, and there might be times you'll go to me, Elinor, this is the best I can do, and I'm like, God bless you, I get it, right? But and then there's other times you'll say, no, I notice, and I go, I notice. Okay, right there, that arc between 12:30 and 1:30. Just notice if there was a little bit of a straight line instead of an arc. Okay, then go back. Go back to 12:15 and then take it back. Okay, did you hold your breath? Wait, what happened in the right hip? Okay, go back. Okay, come back and rest. Now let's go tell a Feldenkrais story. And la 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 la, sing a song, everything is good. Okay, come back. Now go all the way through that number to 1 o'clock and come back. What do you notice? Oh, okay. Go from 1 to 1:15 to 1:30 to 2 and come back. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you think, oh,
Really.
I got
Yeah.
it. Because that rest was important. The
Yeah.
storytelling time during rest was important. Sometimes no storytelling time and only silence
Mm,
is important, or a pause. And then come back, and now let's go through and do it. What do you notice? Okay, come up to stand, come back to sit. Something happened. Some people may call it self-corrective mechanisms. Some
mm,
people may call it learning. Some
mm.
people may say it's integration.
Right. Right. Right.
It is something.
Right.
But what happens is the quality of your movement improve.
Mhm.
And in that, truly, you get better and better.
Okay. So should I have a lesson next time on the clock? Because we haven't done an
Yes.
actual lesson on it.
What did we do when we were in your bed?
We did up and down only,
Oh, you're right. We kept
forward
it
and back.
very, very simple, forward and
Yeah,
back.
which is great, which was great because
Yes.
that's half of it.
Yes. 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 That was the beginning of it. Okay.
Exactly.
Then we got into psoas and we got into the hip
Exactly.
and the shoulder and then this, that connecting because we're taking the lesson as it's happening.
Exactly.
So you're right. Yes. I will put it in this note
Okay.
to work with. As a matter of fact, why don't I put it on my note? So what did we say then? Thursday the 20th?
I don't
Is
know
it
that.
Thursdays?
Did we say? Let's see. Let me see if we said.
Oh, I don't think we have one.
I don't think we have one.
But
But
do you want it to
Thursday
be
the
on?
20th is fine.
It's fine. Okay, so I'm going to do, hold on. Hold on. Hold on, one sec, one sec, one sec. Okay. Uh, um, pelvic pelican, pelvic clock. Okay, there we go. Okay, 10 o'clock.
Perfect.
Good. And we'll work on the pelvic clock. Um, and we can do it in sitting, lying, every so there's so many ways. Just know we can do it sitting, lying on your back, lying on your side, lying on your other side. So there's so many ways to go about doing it.
Good, good.
And unless of course something else comes up where you're like, oh, my shoulders,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then because why do I think was it lying on your back was a little tough on the shoulder?
No, it's lying on my sides.
Oh, of course, sure. Okay. So yes,
But I
yes.
can do it sitting and I can do it lying down. I'm
So
so sorry.
how are your shoulders doing since 2 weeks ago?
Well, the last day or so, they have been slightly better. Yesterday, I had a very comfortable practice session and I was feeling particularly good, but they have been very problematic. And I talked to my orthopedist, I talked to the neurologist, I talked to my doctor about all of these other therapies that you told me about, the ultrasound, the infrared, PRP. Nobody knows anything about the ultrasound or the infrared, but the PRP they do in Kaiser, but it's very, very expensive. And I looked at it and it looked kind of iffy. It hasn't been approved by the FDA yet. And I'm just not sure. I think I want to wait until it's been approved and maybe the data is more conclusive,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
And I
But
think that's not something I would ever do through Kaiser anyway.
all
That would
right,
be that would be something if I ever did something of those kind of treatments, I would find who is the best in California type of
right,
thing
right.
and start the conversation with them to find out why are they the best. What is it that they're doing differently? Oh, well, we don't just do sugar or we don't just do your stem cells, but we add in blah, blah, blah with it so that it helps it even better to have a better chance. So it goes from 60% benefit to 94%. You know what I'm saying? There are
I do. I
very
know what you mean.
ingenious people who come up with even better ways, but those are people that are in private practices.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's out of my league, unfortunately.
No, and they're usually in a small private practice, not some big fancy thing.
Yeah, no, no, it's not the fancy, it's just the finances.
Oh, I
Um,
know. Are
so
you kidding? Everything, my God. I mean,
I
it's
know,
I
I
talked
know.
to somebody who did this special kind of ozone thing, and it's $1,000 a session.
Yeah, I mean, the PRP in Kaiser is almost that. It's like 800 a session. Yeah, so I mean, it's out of the question. So, but there are, and I just wanted to leave you with this question, or get an answer to this question. I assume from what you say that the things that you can buy yourself are you shouldn't. You shouldn't do anything like that yourself.
By what do you mean?
You can buy one of those ultrasound things, and
I
you can
didn't say you,
buy an infrared thing.
yeah, I didn't say you shouldn't.
Oh, well, I thought because you said go to the best practitioners
Oh,
that you
sure.
shouldn't.
But the thing about those therapies, a lot of those, if you can be taught how to use them, you can, they're now, all these things are being sold for in-home use.
That's
People
what
have
I mean.
realized
Yeah.
that they want stuff, right?
Yeah.
And that they
Yeah.
can work themselves. So
Yeah.
then that makes the therapists who have things have to up their ante, like, well, why is theirs better? Oh, well, they're doing soft tissue work, lymphatic drainage work, and
Mm,
then they're doing three different therapies all in
mm,
one thing. And
mm.
you know what I'm saying? So they have to up their ante. I'm glad that stuff is being made for home use because it makes those who are in practice doing this stuff having to do it even better.
Yes, I see. I see. I see. So I will look into it and see whether I can do that. And one of those. There's ultrasound and there's infrared.
I almost wonder for the infrared if I could package one of mine up and send it to you to, but we'd have to insure it because it's like a $5,000 unit. Um,
Wow.
well, the one I have, yeah, because it was made for horses and animals,
Oh
and
my
so and
gosh.
it's got multiple size pads and charging stations and things like
Oh my
that.
goodness.
But there's a handheld one that you can,
Yeah, that's what I
you
was
know,
thinking of. Something really simple.
well, I like the one that's a pad because you can drape it over.
I see. I
And I
see.
think you can get those for like 100 and something dollars.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that I could
Right.
manage. So
Right.
maybe I should look into that. Where should I go
I
to
would
look?
look on honestly, I would look on Amazon.
Amazon. Okay.
And
Okay.
then look to see how many people like these things, then
Yes.
read the reviews
Yes. Okay.
and see what are people using them for.
Yes.
And still even then sometimes I've had hit and miss where I'll get see 400 reviews that are great and I get the product and I'm like, what was so great about it? You
Yeah.
know, so but most of the time doing the homework was worth it for me.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. I will do that.
I mean, nothing like getting warmth into the joint and
Yeah. Well,
light.
I'm thinking that probably will feel great, whatever.
And then as you're doing the rocking movement, you're letting the traps and the sternocleidomastoid and all those muscles hang more often than you didn't know that you weren't. All those double negatives.
Yes.
I
Yes.
confuse myself. So yeah,
Okay. All right. That sounds good.
I
Thank
love
you
you.
so much. I love you too. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.